Hi everyone, it's me, Spring, the fiber enthusiast, and welcome to the channel. Today is going to be a Tunisian tutorial, and we're going to be working up a small beanie in the round with a double-ended crochet hook. Now these are smaller than most cases found in the store. A lot of times the ones that you find in the store are the ones that are like 10 or 12 inches or 16 inches long. Now, I have done a tutorial on those as far as what is it and how does it work type situation. So I now have some smaller ones which are more designed and dedicated for working smaller things in the round. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to work in the round, working a smaller beanie. And I'm just using a worsted weight. You can see there's our circumference. It isn't that big. My hand fits over the top of it pretty nicely. I'm just using some worsted weight, and I will be using two different colors. I'm using one that is variegated, and I'm using a solid, which is a solid purple color. All right, so what I've done here is I have here in front of me a 7 and an 8 millimeter crochet hook. I'm using the size 7 for my forward pass, and the reverse pass, if you will, would be the 8 millimeter. So what I'm doing is I've chain 57, and I'm now going to go back and start picking up stitches along the way here. So I'm just Tunisian simple stitch every single chain as far as I can comfortably fit stitches onto my crochet hook here. So I'm just going to continue working until I got quite a little bit on my hook, and then we'll pick up the secondary color and start working the reverse pass, but that reverse pass is actually worked in the same direction as our forward pass. So here we go. And I definitely recommend, if this is the first time you've worked in the round, trying to work something up, you use two different colors. It really does help distinguish what stitches are what and where you're at. So I'm just going to make a slip knot so that way it's easier for recording purposes, and leave a tail long enough to sew in. So what I'm going to do is, this is my forward side, and you can look on the hook itself, there's a 7, and on the other side is the 8. So now I'm going to turn my work around, place that slip knot on my hook, and not tighten it down too much because I got to do a chain 1. So that's my chain 1. Now I'm just going to do the standard Tunisian reverse pass, yarn over and go through 2 now. Yarn over, go through 2, and I'm going to continue to do that until I just have a few stitches left on my hook. And we will get in the round when we get to the end of the chain. So I'm just going to keep working here, these stitches off the hook. All right, so I only have just a few stitches left on my hook. So now I'm going to turn my work back around, pick back up on the 7 millimeter side, and pick back up on the solid yarn. So now I'm going to go and pick up a bunch more stitches. Just Tunisian simple stitch all the way. And we're going to continue working this all the way to the end. Tunisian simple stitch each and every chain till we get quite a few on our hook, and then we just turn it over and work our reverse pass with the secondary color. We're going to keep working those stitches on the hook and then off the hook. Okay, I'm down to just a few stitches here. I'm going to turn back around and continue working my forward pass. So go ahead and continue doing that until you've reached the end of your chain. When we get towards the end, just leave a few stitches on your hook at the end and we'll work through joining in the round together. Okay, so I've made it almost to the end. As you see, I have 2 purple stitches and 1 of the variegated stitches here. And what you want to do is make sure that your contrasting color stays on the same side and you don't twist your work. So our variegated side should be up. Your reverse pass side should be up. So now we're going to be working into these stitches here. The purple stitches, that is. So I'm going to go into that very first one. And I'm going to pick my purple up. Get these tails out of the way here. I'm going to pick my purple up and I'm going to bring it up to right about here. So that way it's the same as a standard stitch. Okay, so this is my starting point here. Now I'm going to bring my yarn to the front and I'm going to Tunisian purl stitch the next stitch. Then I'm going to Tunisian knit stitch the next 2. Okay, that's our repeat. Purl 1, knit 2. So Tunisian purl 1, Tunisian knit 2. And we're going to work that all the way around in the round to create a rib stitch. Same concept when we are working our reverse pass. You're going to continue to work it the same way. You're going to turn your work around and we're going to go through 2, go through 2, and now we continue again. Go through 2, go through 2, go through 2, and we're just going to keep working in the round in the same manner. Turn your work back around, pick back up on your color A, and we're going to Tunisian purl and Tunisian knit 2. Tunisian knit 1, Tunisian knit 2. So that is your repeat all the way around. We're just doing a little brim here. So Tunisian purl, Tunisian knit, and Tunisian knit. Turn your work, bring up your contrasting color, and yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and just continue that reverse pass. That's going to stay the same. Okay, so go ahead and continue working in the round with 1 Tunisian purl stitch and 2 Tunisian knit stitches. When we get around to the beginning, I will meet back up with you. Now, when you get to the end, you will notice you have 2 stitches left and your repeat is of 3. But if you remember, our very first stitch was a Tunisian simple stitch by picking up the purple into that stitch and bringing it up for the next row. So we continue with our last 2 stitches is a purl and a knit. So that completes the round. Now, if you want to place a stitch marker there, just and move it up as you go, you're more than welcome to do that. And that will, signal to you as you're working it that this is the very first stitch of the round. So now we're going to continue to work that the same way. We're going to go into the stitch as a knit stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we're going to purl the next stitch, and then Tunisian knit stitch the next 2, and then repeat, purl 1, knit 2. And we're going to do that one more row, one more round, should I say, all the way around. I'm going to work these last stitches of the round in the reverse pass with you. We're going to go ahead and finish those. Nothing changes as far as these stitches. It's the same as if you were doing it in the flat, except we're not going reverse from left to right. We're continuing the same direction. So here we are coming up to our last stitch. That is our last stitch of the round. So just go ahead and continue on, working them off. Now I'm down to just a few stitches. I'm going to turn my work and pick back up with my solid color, my main color, and continue working forward. Now you'll be able to see where you are on the row because of that contrasting color. So I'm going to go ahead and work all the way around, one more round, and that will be our brim. And then we'll start the top part of the hat before the decreases. So the height of the hat before we start our crown decreases. Okay, so I've made it all the way around. I've just got a few stitches here of my reverse pass. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull most of those off, leaving just a couple of stitches. All right, we're back at the beginning. And we're going to start working the height of the hat before we do our decreases for the crown. Now you can continue on with simple Tunisian simple or stitch or Tunisian knit stitch. That is entirely up to you. I am going to Tunisian knit stitch all the way around. Now your purl stitches might be a little difficult to begin with, but I'm just going to Tunisian knit stitch every stitch in the round, continuing to do my reverse pass as I go, same as we were doing. Yarning over and going through 2, yarning over and going through 2, and you just continue working it as you go. Turn back around and go back to Tunisian knit stitch. Now I'm going to do this for the height that I desire. Whatever height, looks approximately correct for me and my hook size, my yarn size. There is an average height size for every, adult or however you wish. Whatever's most comfortable, but here we're going to work it for, let's go with 4 inches. We're going to work 4 inches of Tunisian knit or Tunisian simple, whichever you prefer, for the height. Now, if you want to follow along with me, do Tunisian knit stitch. So we're going to continue to work the Tunisian knit stitch for a total of 4 inches. So that is 4 inches, not from the bottom of the hat, but from the top of the ribbing. Okay? So you can see there where the ribbing is. Let's go ahead and do that. As I said, you're just going to continue to work your reverse pass the same way. And the forward pass is Tunisian knit stitch every stitch. And just continue to work that all the way around for the height that you desire. In my case, it will be 4 inches. Once I have obtained that, I will be back and we will move on to the decrease section of the hat. Okay, so once you have the height that you need for the side of your hat, for instance, from the brim up to where we start the decreasing for the crown. As I said, I was going to work mine a total of 4 inches before I started doing the decreases. So I have my stitch marker here at the beginning of the round, and we're going to begin our decreases. Your decreases are going to be every other round for a few rounds. So you might want to, keep a tally on that. So we have our very first stitch here is Tunisian knit stitch, and I'm going to do that until I have made it over 8 stitches. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to Tunisian knit stitch 2 together. So I'm going to go through the first one and the second one, and then pop my hook out the back, yarn over, and pull through both. Now I just made that 1 stitch. Now I'm going to work my reverse pass to that point. You will have an uneven number of decreases. So we're going to work this round together. All right, so I just decreased 2 together. We're going to start again. Tunisian knit stitch the next 8 stitches. Make sure you don't count your decrease stitches. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're going to Tunisian knit 2 together. So I'm going to go through the first one, through the second one, pop it out the back, yarn over, and pull it through both of those stitches. Now I'm going to do my reverse pass. Just go ahead and catch up with it. Perfect timing. All right, now we're going to do that again, and you're going to continue that repeat all the way around. Okay, when you get to towards the end, you're going to notice that you're not going to have a full 8 stitches and then knit 2 together. When you get to the very last decrease of your first decreasing round, you're going to repeat everything until you get to 2 stitches before the end. So the last 2 stitches of the round, decrease them together. And then continue on, and then you'll do a full round of Tunisian knit, or if you decided to go with Tunisian simple stitch, that's fine. Just go ahead and work 1 full round of Tunisian knit or Tunisian simple stitch, and then we'll do another decreasing round together. All right, so now you have decreased 1 round and Tunisian knit 1 full round. We're going to continue that repeat where we're going to decrease the amount of stitches and knit around for a few more rounds. So we're going to knit, Tunisian knit 7, and then knit 2 together. Then we're going to knit around. So we need to Tunisian knit 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we're going to Tunisian knit 2 together. So that is the repeat for this round. Tunisian knit stitch 7, and then Tunisian knit 2 together. Repeat that until you have made it all the way around. Once you have made it all the way around, you will Tunisian knit 1 full round. All right, so I've done my Tunisian knit 7 and decrease, repeat around, and then Tunisian knit all the way around. Now it's Tunisian knit 6. So we're starting there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Tunisian knit 2 together. And that is your repeat for the round. Tunisian knit 6, and then Tunisian knit 2 together. Continue that all the way around, and then Tunisian knit 1 full round after that. I'll meet up with you at that point. Okay, so as you can see, the hat is starting to curve. We're going to continue to work those decrease rounds and the knit rounds the same throughout until we're down to just a few stitches where we can cinch them down at the top so we can close up the top of the hat. So the last decrease round we did was to Tunisian knit 6 stitches. That means now we're down to Tunisian knit 5. So you would Tunisian knit 5 and then Tunisian knit 2 together. Keep in mind that when you come around to your last decrease of your decreasing rounds, you may not have enough to fulfill a total 5 stitches or 6 stitches before you do 2 together. In that case, you always just go to 2 before your stitch marker and knit those 2 together. Because we started with an odd number of stitches, it's not going to equal out evenly every single time. So now, once again, we are working on a decrease round, and the decrease round for this round is knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Tunisian knit 2 together. That is the repeat for this round. And then you will Tunisian knit all the way around for 1 round. Then you will work Tunisian knit 4, Tunisian knit 2 together for a round. And we're going to continue that same repeat, as I said, until we are down to just a few stitches in the round to cinch together and close this hat up. So I'm going to go ahead and put down in the description box each of the decreasing rounds and the knit round in between. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and show you a picture at the end of the video, as well as when we get to the last few stitches, I'll let you know how many I had left, and we'll cinch it up together. All right, so once you've made it all the way down to Tunisian knit 1, Tunisian knit 2 together, all the way around, you have just a small amount of stitches left here. So what we're going to do is actually close this up by cinching it together. So I'm going to cut a fairly long tail like such. I'm going to go ahead and pull the last stitch through like that. Now I'm going to lace up my darning needle, and we're just going to slip into these stitches that are left. So I'm using both colors here, both strands. We're going to go ahead and slip into all of these stitches all the way around, just working in between those vertical bars there. Until you've made it all the way around. Then we're going to end up turning this inside out. Go. Just a few more. All right, so now we're back here at the beginning, and I'm going to pull that through, and then I'm going to stick it into the center of the hat, turn the hat inside out, which you get a totally different look if you're looking on the inside and you did the Tunisian knit stitch. Going to take this and get it all inside out and start cinching those last few stitches together like that, and then you'll sew in your ends. I'm going to turn it back the other way for a second. All right, so I want to push all of this blue. I'm going to open it back up just a little bit. I want to push all that blue to the inside because I want this purple really to be what's shown. Now, if you're using the same color, it's not going to be a big deal, but yeah, there we go. That's better. Not as bad, but I really wanted all of this purple, and I may work it a little bit more before it's all said and done and get this the rest of the way in there. Let's see if I can pull one strand and get it to get a little bit better. There, that's better. So I wanted it all to be the purple right there. And so I'll sew in my ends. I'll hem up the edging. Let me show it the other way. Go ahead and remove that for now. Tuck that in there so you can see it. So this is just a basic Tunisian hat. And if I stretch it out, you can see that contrasting color on the inside there. Just a basic overview of a Tunisian style hat, beanie. And of course, you can make it taller for an adult, more stitches for an adult. You can alter this in multiple ways. I just wanted to basically do a simple, easy to work up hat and show you how these work and what they are used for in a pattern. So we have a little bit of ribbing down here, which again, you can do more ribbing if you so choose. This is just a basic outline. Then you work at 4 inches of Tunisian knit or Tunisian simple stitch, depending on you. and then you start your decrease rounds. And the decrease rounds is 1 decrease round and then 1 knitted round, 1 decrease round, 1 knitted round, until we get down to a point where we're working Tunisian knit 1 and Tunisian knit 2 together all the way around. That shrinks it down to a small circumference, and you can cinch it up nice and tight. So there it is. That is a basic Tunisian beanie. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. Be blessed, be a blessing, and until next time, bye for now.